Hello students, so welcome again. Last lecture was based on the chemical chains. I hope you are getting the answer also. There was one question as homework. Try to find out the answer again. If there is not possible, ask me about that. But I promise about we'll discuss about that question also. So we'll discuss after a few minutes. Okay. But first start the lecture. Today it is one of the important lecture because we are going to discuss the characteristics of chemical change. Means what are the really signals, symptoms that indicating there is a chemical change. If you saw the some signals or symptoms in a surrounding, you can assume, you can guess, yes, might be there is a chemical change. With the help of some examples and some symptoms and signals, we'll try to find out is there any chemical change or not. And one remember box also there. Remember that thing also. This is remember box. In every lecture, try to find out the one of the remember box. What should you have to remember anyhow? Okay, class, fine. Every time, whenever the things are going on, whenever the things are happened, always show the some symptoms and signals to happening things. Means, if you are someone going to be suppose falling ill, so also there is some symptoms signals now. Same way in chemical change, there is also some signals indicating there is a chemical change going on. There is a formation of new substance, and that signals and symptoms are called characteristics of chemical change. This is very easy to learn because you can see that some of the points are written here. These are the main important points, the 5 points. Change in state, change in color, evolution of gas, change in temperature, and last one, formation of precipitate. We'll discuss one by one. Actually, whenever the chemical change is going on, generally some of the substance has changed their state. Like example, we are having a burning up coal, burning up paper, you can also say burning up paper. The coal is a solid substance. When we burn the coal in the presence of air or oxygen, this coal actually produces carbon dioxide, a gaseous product. Carbon dioxide, a gaseous product, indicating the reactant was what we initially taken, that was in a solid state, and now the solid change into the gaseous form, indicating change in state, If you want to write the equation, that will be your next topic. If you want to write the equation, you can write here the carbon which is in a solid react with oxygen to form carbon dioxide which in a gas state. Carbon solid react with oxygen to form carbon dioxide in a gas state. This is a representation of the chemical change. Well, later you learn the representation of a chemical change in the different symbols and formula called chemical equations. That is your next topic. So burning of coal is also a chemical change, and there is a state change. There is a change in state. The one of the signals indicating there was a chemical change. Change in color. Class, change in color. Many of the reactions surrounding you generally accompanied with a change in color. And out of them, I am taking one example to put the iron nail in a copper sulfate solution. In a bracket, the subscript indicating AQ indicating aqueous. Aqueous means whenever the substance dissolve in water, the solution made is called aqueous solution. Aqueous means water, water solution. So we are putting iron nail in copper sulfate aqueous solution. Actually, copper sulfate aqueous solution is in blue in color. Copper sulfate aqueous solution is in blue in color. So we are putting iron nail. So reaction is like Fe copper sulfate aqueous solution, which is in a blue in color, changed into ferrous sulfate and copper running out. Copper running out. You can see actually through the equation the representation of this chemical change. When we put iron nail in the copper sulfate aqueous solution, when we put iron nail in a copper sulfate aqueous solution, actually the color of the solution becomes green, from blue to green. The copper is running out, the color is green now. The color is green. This indicating the change in color. This indicating the change in color. So change in color, for example, iron nail symbol is Fe, aqueous solution of copper sulfate, I am repeating, copper sulfate, blue in color. When you put the iron nail, the color become green, indicating the sum of the chemical change must be there because of the color change. The one of the signals and symptoms in a chemical change, green in color. The ferrous sulfate, the product formed is ferrous sulfate and copper is displaced out, running out. Okay? Copper. Okay. So this is the one of the reaction we are having. This is the one of the reaction we are having. Burning of coal. The first reaction was burning of coal, state change indicating state change. Now this is a color change. Evolution of a gas. Evolution of gas. Electrolysis. The example is electrolysis of water. Electrolysis of water. Actually, when we supply electricity through the water, water break down into hydrogen and oxygen, and both are gaseous in state. When we transfer electricity through the water break down into hydrogen and oxygen, which are gaseous product, indicating some gas are coming out. Some gases are coming out. Class, remember one thing, all these examples from your syllabus only. All these examples will come in the next section also. When we learn, when we study the types of reaction, all these examples will come one by one. But before that, you have to see, when we put electricity through the water break down into hydrogen oxygen, indicating the evolution of gas. Fine. Water. But water does not conduct electricity. So any one of you telling me how we flow the electricity through the water if the water is a bad conductor of electricity? Tell me in a comment box how we can flow the electricity through the water, because water is a bad conductor. So to break down the water, the electricity must be flow now. So if the electricity must be flow, how we flow the electricity through the water if the water is a bad conductor? Answer, send me in a comment box. Fine. Next, change in temperature. The one of the signals and symptoms of chemical change is change in temperature, and for that we will go through the remember box. Okay, change in temperature. Actually, whenever the reactions are going on, whenever the chemical changes are there always a change in temperature. There is always a change in temperature. Means without change in energy, remember, without change in energy, it will not be possible to break a old bond and to make a new bond. In a breakdown of old bond and formation of a new bond, there is always a difference of energy which is accompanied with change in temperature. Change in temperature. Change in temperature, actually two different types. change in temperature can be learned by the two different terms, exothermic and endothermic. Exo means given out, thermic means heat. So when heat is given out, when heat is coming out means evolved. When heat is evolved, called exothermic, released out. Endothermic means when heat is absorbed by the any reaction. So when a reaction, the heat is absorbed, the reaction is said to be endothermic. The reaction is said to be endothermic. Learn one thing, when heat is absorbed, the substance or reaction become cool. And when exothermic, when heat is given out, released out, the reaction is said to be a hot. It's a very easy. Actually, always heat flow from the higher to the lower condition. Fine na? Heat flow from the higher temperature to the lower temperature. If heat is released out, the atmosphere become hot. And when we touch the vessel or a test tube, the test tube become hot because of the heat released out. So we feel hot in the test tube or a vessel or a conical flask or a beaker. Wherever the reactions are going on, the surrounding become more temperature because heat is released out. And when the surrounding heat is absorbed by the reaction, that is called endothermic, the test tube or a beaker become cold. So if the reaction is going on in a test tube, suppose if the reaction is going on in the test tube and test tube on touch, test tube become cold, you experience a cool temperature, there should be a endothermic reaction. And if the test tube become hot, you experience hot, indicating there is an exothermic reaction. For example, when we put a quick lime called calcium oxide, so when calcium oxide dissolve in the water, there is a formation of slaked lime, calcium hydroxide, and lot of heat released in this process. This arrow indicating released out. Heat released out in this process when quick lime, shortly known as lime, dissolve with water. There is a lot of heat released out and there is a formation of calcium hydroxide solution. Indicating a chemical change. This is one of the example we are having of a exothermic reaction, indicating change in temperature. Same way, for endothermic, I am taking one example of barium hydroxide with mixing of ammonium chloride, BaOH whole twice called barium hydroxide, mixing with ammonium chloride NH4Cl. This reaction indicating endothermic. How we experience? When school is reopened, ask to your teacher to show this endothermic reaction, because exothermic reactions are general reactions. Most of the reaction in a laboratory are generally exothermic. So you can experience any time exothermic reaction. But endothermic reactions are actually rare. So ask your teacher, a chemistry teacher, to show you one of the endothermic reaction. For example, barium hydroxide and ammonium chloride. Just very easy example, barium hydroxide solution in a test tube, and we'll put a ammonium chloride and shake well. When you touch the test tube from the outside, you feel cool, indicating the endothermic reaction. One of the very easy example of endothermic reaction in the laboratories. So barium hydroxide is actually make a barium chloride, ammonia formation, one of the gas we are having, and water. So after reaction, this is the indicating equation. Barium hydroxide when mixed with NH4Cl ammonium chloride, we are having a barium chloride, ammonia and water. Ammonia and water together make a ammonia solution and barium chloride formed as a salt. This reaction having a endothermic process, so also indicating a change in temperature. So both the process having a indication of change in temperature, either endothermic or exothermic, no matter, but there is a change in temperature we are actually meaning. But ask to your teacher to show this reaction. Okay, fine. So change in temperature is also the one of the signals or symptoms of the chemical change. And for that we have to remember endothermic and exothermic, the one of the very meaningful and a processful process. The next one is formation of precipitate. Formation of precipitate. The other and last very important in significance signals and symptoms, you can say, mixing of sodium chloride aqueous solution, means water solution, with silver nitrate aqueous solution. When we mix these two, NaCl and AgNO3, actually we are actually getting a white precipitate of silver chloride and sodium nitrite NaNO3 aqueous solution. Class, it's a very easy to note down. When we mix NaCl and silver nitrate aqueous solution, means we are having two different test tubes. In one test tube we mix NaCl, that is a solid, first dissolving the water, stirred out. One test tube, okay, fine, separate. Then next silver nitrate, solid substance, dissolving in water to make a silver nitrate. Both are now aqueous solution. When silver nitrate mixed in the sodium chloride aqueous solution, instantly, when we mix both the solution, instantly there is a insoluble substance formed called precipitate. Insoluble substance formed called precipitate. That white precipitate settled down slowly on a bottom in a test tube, indicating the formation of precipitate. So this is the one of the important characteristics of a chemical change. If two different aqueous solutions mix together and there is a many insoluble substances formed, indicating there must be was a chemical change. For example, AgCl as a white precipitate formed on mixing of these two substances. All these symptoms and signals with remember was noted down, and with these equations examples. All examples are from your syllabus and most important examples we are having actually. If there is any problem, doubt regarding this lecture, ask me. With the next lecture tomorrow we will discuss about equation, how to write equation, what is the meaning of equation, why there is a need of equation to write the equations, what are skeletal equation, how to balance equation, many different types of features, properties about the equations we are discussing. Now your question. I promised about that. We'll discuss about why chemical change. Why chemical change? So I'm hinting one thing. Always a substance which are initially taken, try to change in a more stable substance at a given condition. One of the reactants, that is a reactant, one of the initial substance what you are taking initially, always try to be a more stable at a given situation, given condition. So always the chemical change indicating the one substance become more stable in a different way, to change itself, to change through the bond, to change through the formula, to make a new substance, try to change in the new stable product, new stable substance. So stability, one of the major important criteria why chemical change occur. Other things, other important features we'll discuss in the next lecture. Stay tuned and solve all this I'm leaving the screen. Take a screenshot and note down in your class notebook. Okay? Fine? Okay, meet in the next lecture. Thank you.